Greetings, welcome back to another walkthrough. This walkthrough we're going to go through Chapter 11, Grader Project, Catering. Before we get started with this particular Grader project, unfortunately this Grader project can only be done on a Windows PC. If you try to do this particular assignment on a Mac, it requires the use of a program called Access, and unfortunately there is no Access for a Mac computer. Access is only accessible through a Windows PC. So unfortunately, you will have to use a Mac computer or a Windows computer to complete this assignment. Feel free to contact me and we can make arrangements to do that. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and click on Chapter 11. And we'll download our materials. Once again, do not click the download all files button. Let's go ahead and download our instructions, and I suggest that you print those up. Let's go ahead and download our student file, our catering budget, and the reason you can't do this on a Mac computer is because of this catering needs file, which is an Access file, which Access is not available on a Mac computer. So hit download on that one as well. And let's go ahead and open up our student file. And go ahead and hit enable editing if you need to. All right, so in this particular assignment, we are going to show you how to use macros. And in order to do a macro, we need to make sure that this is saved as a macro enabled document. So let's go up here to the File tab, and let's go to Save As, and let's go ahead and change this from a Word document to a macro enabled Word document. And once you've changed it to a macro enabled document, hit Save. The next thing you need to do is put in our developer tab. I already have my developer tab showing because I use it quite a bit. But for you, we can come to the File tab. From the File tab, we'll go down to Options. Under Options, we are going to select Customize Ribbon. And over here on the right-hand side, scroll down and put a check mark next to Developer. Make sure there is a check mark next to Developer, and hit OK. And that should now put the developer tab here. So a macro enables you to record a specific set of steps so that you can, instead of having to do those steps over and over again, you can just create a button to perform those series of steps. And we're going to use that to format a table. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to insert a file name in the footer. So we'll come up here to our Insert tab. From our Insert tab, under our header and footer grouping, click on Footer and Edit Footer. And we're going to put in our file name, so we'll come up here to Document Info, and we'll put in file name. And we're done there, so we can go ahead and hit the Close Header and Footer box here. And now we want to open up Access. And we want to open up that catering needs file. So let's go ahead and go to our downloads folder. So I'm going to click on my folder here. And I'm going to go to my downloads folder. And under my downloads folder, I should have this Access file. Once again, if you have a Mac computer, you will not be able to open up this file. There is no program for a Mac computer that will allow you to open it. Also, if you have a Windows PC, you need to make sure you have Access downloaded on your computer. If you downloaded your Microsoft Office through the SCF website, then you should have this file here. If not, you can contact me and we can see what we can do about getting that installed on your computer. So let's go ahead and open up our catering needs Access file. And here it is. I'm going to click my Enable Editing or Enable Content. And I want to open up my catering table over here on the left hand side. I'm going to double click on that. And this is the table that I want to copy. So I'm going to come up here to this corner gray square right here next to job fair. If I click on that once, it's going to highlight the entire table for me. And if I right click on that, it'll allow me to copy. I'm going to hit copy. And that's it actually. That's all I needed access for, is just to get to this particular table right here. So I can go ahead and I can minimize my access file here. And then I can minimize my downloads folder. And I can come back to my document, my student file that we're working in. And I want to copy the table, position the insertion point at the end of the paragraph that begins "to give you." So let's find right here where it says "to give you a better idea." I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that paragraph. And it wants me to hit enter 2 times. So at the end of this paragraph, make sure you're after the period. I want to hit enter once. I'm going to hit enter one more time. And it wants me to paste it as an HTML format. So I'm going to come up here to my Home tab. And under where it says paste, there's a down arrow under paste. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click on paste special. And I want to make sure HTML format is selected and hit OK. And it's going to copy, or it's going to paste that table that I copied from my access file. So now it wants me to click on the first cell of the table. So I'm going to put my cursor right here in front inside the catering cell. And it wants me to display the record macro dialog box. So I'm going to come up here to my developer tab and where it says record macro, and click on record macro. Now when it comes to macros, after I hit the OK button, everything that I do is going to be recorded. So you have to follow the steps pretty closely in order for it to record properly. So under the macro name, let's go ahead and type in format underscore table. Make sure you capitalize the F and the T. And we want it to be stored in all documents. And under description, let's type in formats the table. And let's go ahead and give it a keyboard shortcut. Let's click on keyboard shortcut here. And where it says press new keyboard shortcut, let's do Alt Control and Q. So Alt Control Q. And once again, go ahead and hit assign and hit close. Now, everything that we're doing is being recorded. So it wants us to, with our insertion point in the table, which we're already there, click on the Table Tools Design tab. So I'm going to come up here to my Table Tools. I want to click on Design. And under Table Styles Group, so under my Table Styles, I want to click on the More button right here, this arrow with the line above it. And I want to find, it says under Grid Tables, I want to find Grid Table 5 Dark. So Grid Table 5 Dark Accent 1. So right here, Grid Table Dark, Table 5 Dark Accent 1. So I'm going to click on that. And in the Table Tools Layout tab, so I'm going to come up here to my Table Tools. I'm going to click on Layout tab. In the Cell Size grouping, click Auto Fit. So I want to come over here to my cell size. I'm going to click on Auto Fit. And I want to Auto Fit to Contents. And then we want to go to our Properties. So come over here to Table and click on Properties. And under Properties, we want to do Alignment. So let's click under Alignment here. We want to do Alignment Center. Go ahead and hit OK. Then we're going to come back up here to our Developer tab and hit Stop Recording. All right, so now that we've created our macro, it wants us to, below the table, position the insertion point in the first blank paragraph. So right here in this very first paragraph marking, if for some reason you didn't turn on your paragraph markings yet, go ahead and go to the Home tab and click on the paragraph marking so you can see where your first paragraph mark is. And it wants us to insert the 11G catering budget as a linked file. And to do this, we're going to come up here to our Insert tab. And from our Insert tab, we're going to come over here to our text grouping. We're going to click on Object, click the down arrow under Object, and we're going to click on Object. And from Object, we are going to create from file. So let's click on Create from File. And let's browse. Let's hit the Browse button. And go to our Downloads folder. And under our Downloads folder, let's find the Catering Budget right here. We'll click on Catering Budget and hit Insert. And we want to insert, we want it to link to a file. And we also want to display it as an icon. And we want to change our icon. And from here, we want to change the caption to say Catering Budget. So we just want it to say Catering Budget. And go ahead and hit OK. And then hit OK. And it's going to take a second, but there it is. Now we have our Catering Budget icon. Let's go ahead and click on the icon. We want to center it, so we'll click on the Home tab and hit the center icon under Paragraph. And we want to change the number of people attending the health care job fair. So let's go ahead and double click on this catering budget. And notice it will open up our catering budget file. Under healthcare, let's change this 98 to 100. Go ahead and hit save and then exit out of that document. And we come back to our main student file. All right, now that our catering budget has been updated, we're going to go ahead and post our code from our macro into our document. So let's go up here to our Developer tab. And from our Developer tab, under the code grouping here, let's click on Macros. And we should have our macro that says Format Table. Let's go ahead and hit Edit. When you hit Edit, it should open up this Microsoft Visual Basic. And it wants us to, what does it want us to do? It wants us to select all of the code. So we can go ahead and hold down the Control key and hit A, or you can just go ahead and highlight everything. And you can go ahead and hold down Control and hit C to copy, or you can right click and hit Copy. Once we've copied it, we can go ahead and close out of this, and we can close out of our Microsoft Visual Basic, which should bring us back to our file. Let's go ahead and hold down our Control key and hit End, which will take us to the end of the document. Go ahead and hold down your Control key and hit Enter, which will create a new page. And then go ahead and hold down Control and hit V, which will now paste the rest of our code that we copied to the bottom of our document. And it looks like we are done. We can go ahead, it says delete the macro, so we can go ahead and do that. We can come up here to our macros group again. We can click on macros and highlight Format Table and just hit delete. And ask me if we want to delete it, hit yes. We can close out of this. So let's go ahead and save our file. So I'm going to hit the save button. But remember, we saved this as a macro enabled file, which will not upload to our assignment area. So we need to change this back to a regular document. So let's go ahead and hit the File tab here and hit Save As. And we're going to change this back from a Word-enabled document, and we're going to change it back to a Word document. And once we've done that, go ahead and hit Save. Now we're probably going to get a message that says there is a file that exists with this name. we want to hit replace existing file and hit OK. And now we are done. We can go ahead and exit out of this. We can come back to our download starting materials, hit the X. I'm going to choose my file. And from choose the file, I'm going to find my document. Now notice I have two documents. One is a document or document file. The other one is the macro enabled document. We want to make sure that you submit the actual document, not the macro enabled document. So make sure you click on the non-macro enabled document and hit open and upload. Now if you try to hit that upload and it says it's the wrong file type, that means you selected the macro enabled document. You want to select the other one. Once we've successfully uploaded it, hit submit for grading. Close your assignment. And now let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see how we did. So I'm going to scroll down to chapter 11. I'm going to click on the three dots and hit view submissions. And it looks like I got 100%. Once again, you can click on the submission, see how well you did, go back and fix whatever it is that you may have gotten wrong and submit it for the best grade possible. Once again, if you need to contact me through Canvas, and have a wonderful day. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe to the channel, as I'll be posting new walkthroughs and tech tips each week. Check back regularly for new content, and have a wonderful day.